Alright, so if you're watching this, carp fisherman, you have probably had the same problem that I did. You come online to get some good carp fishing wisdom, and everybody wants to sell you something. It's always some complicated, expensive rig that's made specifically for carp fishing that nobody has, and it's dumb, because you don't need all that. So here, we're going to show you a way to go to your local fishing store and take what you need to catch lots of carp easily, cheaply. You don't need all that expensive stuff. This is all you need. First of all, we're going to show you the specific materials for this rig. Here we go. Okay, so what you're going to want, first of all, small circle hooks, numero 10. Then you're going to want your miscellaneous hooks. The only thing that's important about these is that they have long shafts. Then you need your 3-way swivel, always important, and your sliding sinker. We chose 1/2 ounce, but whatever. Something else you're gonna need? Fishing line. We suggest using 10-pound to 15-pound test. You might see other videos where people tell you to use like 30-pound test. I don't see why you would need 30-pound test unless you lived in like Thailand, in which case I would advise you to disregard this whole video and just move to another country. Anyway, 10 to 15-pound test is usually the way to go. Okay, you need 2 separate lengths of line now. One of them has got to be 18 inches, and the other one has got to be 30 inches. There you go. Alright, so now, on both of your lengths of line, you're going to take your long shafted hook and just do your standard clinch knot. So now you've done your clinch knot on both hooks, both of your long shafted hooks on the end of the line. What you're going to do, once again on both lines, you're going to take your size 10 circle hook and you're going to put the line in through the eye of the hook so that the line is along the shaft, along the top of the shaft of your circle hook. And you're going to put it, I guess, within about like really close, within 1 centimeter of your long shafted hook. So, once again, you're right up here, and then you're just going to do your hair knot, so you wrap it around the shaft a couple of times, doesn't really matter. And then run your line back through the eye of the hook, and what you end up getting is this. So you've got your circle hook and your long shaft hook here. Okay, now all you're going to do is take both of your lines and tie them onto 2 of the loops of your 3-way swivel and just do a clinch knot for both of them. Alright, so now we're going to put our weight on our main line, and then we're going to take our 3-way swivel, which now has both of our sublines on it, you can see that, and we're going to take the last available loop and tie it to our main line once again with a clinch knot. So first, you have your sliding sinker. Now the reason that this is important is because if a fish takes the hook, you want them to be able to actually take it and not feel the weight. Otherwise, they'll spit it out faster and there's less of a chance. It'll be in their mouth for not as long a time, so there'll be less of a chance for the hook to get caught. So that's why you need your sliding sinker. Then you have your 3-way swivel. The reason you need a 3-way swivel is simply because it tangles. One of the biggest points about this is that you can get 2 hooks in the water, 2 different opportunities to catch a fish. And if you just try to, I tried to just use a 2-barrel swivel, and it doesn't work. Carp get it all messed up if it doesn't tangle up on itself first. So 3-way swivel is important. Then you got your 1 foot of line and your 2 foot of line. And that's important because it just spreads it out farther. You know, if you have the same length of line and you reel in, your hooks end up right next to each other. You always want a good bit of space so you actually have a bigger area covered. Now, you get down to your hooks, and as I said, the long shafted hook is just for loading your bait, which is corn, on, and your circle hook is left weightless so that it can catch. It's really important that you don't put anything on the circle hook, because that's 9 out of 10 times that's what's going to catch the fish, is the circle hook. Just because it can just move around, it's not held down, and you have that on both lines. So that's the explanation. I like to call it the Burns double alternate hair rig. So, last thing you need to know before you head off fishing. You're gonna need a net, because carp, not only are they bigger fish, so it's harder to get them out of the water with just your hands, they're also kind of gross and slippery, and trust me, you want a net. We have lost some very valuable fish just because we forgot the net, so that's important. And your bait. We haven't really said what your bait is going to be. You need canned whole kernel sweet corn. That's what's important. Sweet whole kernel. Remember the whole kernel. I forgot that, bought the wrong corn. It's an easy mistake to make. Anyway, those are the things you need. Now, we're going to get out on the water and we're going to show you how this whole thing works. Catch lots of fish. So, here we are. It's a beautiful day out on the water, and first thing we're going to do is take our canned corn and kind of chum it up. Now, I know some of you might be saying, oh, it's like illegal to chum in my state. Well, corn actually isn't considered chum, but we're still chumming the water with corn. So, if anybody tries to get on you for chumming, you can tell them to look in their dumb fact book, because corn is not chum. Anyway, we're going to toss it. You can't really see into the water here, but we can see this this weed bed of Elodia and kind of where it edges off. What you want to do is just chum the water right on the edge of the weeds, since that is where the carp are going to be anyway, and when they see the corn they're going to stick around and eventually come across your bait real close in there. Anyway, and then what you're going to want to do with your hook is just take a few select pieces of nice corn, take your long shafted hook, and just slip them on there. I like to put, for these particular hooks, I like to put 3 or 4, but you know, it's really up to you. It doesn't really matter. I like to put on just enough corn so that the barb stays exposed just in case. I mean, the second hook really isn't meant to get into the fish, but sometimes it does, and so that's always a plus if your second hook hooks it before the first one does. Anyway, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it on both hooks. Whenever you throw the corn, you're gonna notice the incoming geese and duck that surround where you've thrown it, but it's all right. It sinks, so they quickly get out of the way. And I would think there would be some kind of natural correlation between the ducks and the carp going to the same place when trash is thrown in the water. So it should be a good time. Another thing to take into account is that right over here, you can't really see, but there's an inlet, and whenever you get an inlet, kind of just a general rule of fishing, fish just like inlets. You know, it's where your pond kind of comes in randomly, and they just like them, especially carp, because all the trash flows into that inlet. Carp eat trash, so we've purposely positioned ourselves pretty close to that. So now we've got our 2 hooks that are not going to get tangled, and what we're going to do is take them and just cast right out into where we chummed. Reel in a little bit. I think we're gonna be good. You always want to, part of carp fishing is leaving a lot of slack. I know that for other fishing, you usually want to have a tense line to reel in all your slack. Carp are very sensitive to pressure. If they feel any pressure on when they're trying to take the corn, they're going to spit it out faster. And as I said earlier, you want your hook to be in there for as long as possible so it has the most chance to get hooked. So lots of slack. Really what you're going to see, I mean, you can set the hook. You'll see pretty much if you watch closely, the line will first stiffen and then it'll start to come out. And that's when you know that you can just set it. But for the most part, like carp, you can just sit back. Carp, bottom feeder fishing, it's not a very hard thing to do. We're just gonna sit here and eventually the rod's just gonna go like straight down and the fish is gonna hook itself. So there you go. We'll get back to you when we come into contact with the fish.
No, I think you're just shaking the thing.
No, your line is going out. Just set the hook. Set the hook right now. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
There we go. He's got a fish. First fish of the day. Sorry about that. We couldn't tell whether the fish was still on the line or not. Lots of weird bumps. It's weird. Sometimes they'll just take it and like, there's no doubt about it.
I went over your line.
Ooh, man. I better reel that noise in. See it.
You can tell it's taking out quite a bit of line.
Where is it?
I don't know how tight my drag is. It's going to the right now. It's kind of close. It's over by that pasture. Disgusting stuff.
There's his line right there. You can't really see the fish. Oh, there's the fish.
So it's actually putting up a decent fight.
Putting up a decent fight, I guess. I'm gonna get the net. A big carp though, my friends.
Oh, woo! Jesus.
What do you say? That's under 10 pounds, but pretty close. 10, 8, 9, 10 pounds, big fish. Here we are, little pond, big carp.
All right, we got
Anyway, here we got you can take the camera.
All right, I'll take the camera.
That's a nice one, Dan. It's a nice fish.
That is
Where's
big.
the hook?
It's, I don't know.
I gotta get all this extra line out. Alright. And the nice thing about carp is that they are tough fish, so you can just put them on asphalt like this. This guy, it's not hurting this guy at all. Anyway, yeah, your drag wasn't too loose. He's just a nice fish.
Yep.
We might need the, we're definitely gonna need the gun.
We're gonna need the gun?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh wait, we don't have it.
Shit. Get your pliers. Look at this fish. This is a freaking big fish.
Shoot the fish.
All right. This is a big fish. This is bigger than...
Stop moving, my friend. I'm just trying to even get a grip on it.
It's pretty deep in there.
Yeah, I mean... Alright. That's a nice fish.
Alright, well...
We'll get it.
We'll get back to you after Blair gets the hook out. Yep.
So here we are. I got a nice, I would say about 8 or 9 pounds. Heavy carp. Not the biggest one in the pond. We've seen a lot bigger. But good way to start the day. Alright, so now we're going to release this guy back into the wild. Technically carp are an invasive species, but honestly there's so many, who cares?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
That's a beauty fish though. Put him back in the water. There he goes.
He's on his way.
He's a little, we had him out of the water for a while, trying to get the hook out. He wasn't bleeding or anything, but here he goes down into the depths. First fish of the day, maybe the best fish of the day. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Daniel's got another fish on here.
Not as big.
Not as big. That first one probably gonna be the biggest fish of the day. I'll get the net.
Beauty of this bottom feeder. Ah, there we go. Cool. All right, that's number 2 with Daniel, medium-sized fish. We might be about done here. We've been here for like 10 minutes. 2 fish, made our point. But if we get another one, we will be sure to include it. Oh man, that one's totally swam off fast, couldn't even get it. Anyway, so that might be it. Just proof that the Burns double alternate hair rig works like a charm. Cheap, easy, lots of fish. Yeah, I just said it.
Yeah, that's a,
yep.
That's a fish.
Alright.
Alright.
Blair's got a fish.
Live, yeah. Got still a small one, but got a fish on the line. I'll try to bring him up so you can. He's right in.
Yeah, we can see him.
Right in shallow. I'm actually gonna let him go out a little bit.
Alright. I'll go and get this net over here. Alright. Definitely on the smaller side, but still.
Yeah, but you know, nothing's gonna.
Still bigger than your average trout.
I don't think we're gonna get anything to compare to that first one. Still bigger than your average trout. It's bigger than your average small fish.
Alright.
It is really small, actually.
It's okay. It's alright. What a beautiful carp.
I'm gonna throw him back in. I guess not throw him back in. Probably could, but.
Carp are tough. Carp are tough.
Be gentle to a little one like this. And there he goes.
Oh, he just took off.
Oh my God.
Oh, so Blair's reeling in a fish. Another carp. Let's see if I can get a shot of it up in here. Oh, there it is.
I think we're too chill when we catch these fish. Act like this big bass fisherman.
Oh
my goodness!
Fish on!
Reminds me
Fish
of my days
on!
back in the south.
Fish on!
Drinking beer and catching carp.
Alright.
Pretty good sized carp. You know, this is about the size that you're going to be catching for the most part. We caught a really nice one the first time around, but anyway, so good sized carp. Something I should mention. The reason that the Burns double alternate hair rig works so well is because, like, you'll look at most people's carp setups and they'll have 3 or 4 poles in the water. They'll have a bunch of poles because the truth with bottom feeders like that is that the more hooks you have in the water, the better your chances are of catching carp. But with the Burns double alternate hair rig, you cut your poles in half. You know, we only have 2 poles out here, but we have 4 hooks in the water. Works out well. So stay tuned.
Alright, so this is just to show you they're a nice sized carp. During the day they like to just hang around on the top, around in these weeds. I would say those ones, they're over 10, maybe 15 to 20 pounds. And we've come to the same pond and reeled in, like, I would say, I don't know, like 25 pound. Biggest probably being 25 pound carp. But, you know, like I said, just little ponds like this, don't think that just because you're in an area with a small amount of water, you're not going to catch the big ones, because there are some giant fish in here. So it's been a nice day on the water. We've been here for about 2 hours, and we're gonna call in quits. 5 or 6 fish, you know, not the best day, but not the worst. But it does go to show, I mean, the Burns double alternate hair rig is the best for the ghetto bootleg man's fishing. So subscribe, like, all that noise, and have fun.